What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another match preview and opposition preview today. I got Brian in the studio. Brian, how are we doing? Big game Wednesday night.
I'm doing good. Big game. Not only is it a big game, it's my first time in my 42-year life going to Stamford Bridge. It was the one ground my dad said, nope, you're not going, you're not going. But I am going this time, and I'm really looking forward to
You're
it.
going there to cause trouble. I know you are, Brian.
Me?
But look, we've got an opposition preview today, and you all know him by now, and that is Carefree Lewis from Chelsea Fan TV. Lewis, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. The football isn't really doing too much for me and everything like that. But as a person, we're all good. It's a new year. Hopefully it's a new Chelsea, because the Chelsea from the last few weeks kind of stinks. But we're here. It's the 1 month I weren't looking forward to. You lot 3 times in a month. Manchester City and Liverpool as well, even though we just got through them. But yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of each other this month, Lewis, aren't we?
Yeah. I wish I was in a more confident mood going for it, but like, you got Conte, who I know is gonna bend mind, body, and soul to fuck us over at every available opportunity. Here's what it is. Like, I can't lie. You guys got the perfect manager for the job. As much as I hate saying it, and he's already starting to show results now, which I didn't expect, especially with the first few weeks for you guys. I remember after that loss to Mura, he was saying like, this Tottenham side isn't the team that I need to build my squad with. And he's just gone and made do with the tools that he has. And I'm seeing Harry Winks balling out at a level that I haven't seen from him in years. Yeah. Harry Kane's starting to find form out of nowhere. Dyer and Sanchez are looking like 2 of the best centre-backs in the league right now. This guy's ridiculous. This guy's utterly ridiculous, man. I can't be asked for it.
But Lewis, as a Chelsea fan, how were you feeling? I mean, we spoke a lot when Conte nearly came in the summer. You really weren't happy about that. I mean, but how did you feel when it actually happened, when you saw Conte holding up that Spurs shirt?
See, I would have initially felt disgusted by it if it wasn't for the fact that I've seen Jose do the same thing 2 years ago. And that one really spun my head. So seeing Conte do it again, it's like, all right, I'm a bit more settled down to it. I understand it a bit more now. But it still hurts. Especially because, with hindsight, Jose was a little bit washed, and his tactics are a little bit more past it than we gave it credit for. Conte, it's not like that. Conte, I think, is a lot more adaptable, and I think his level of motivation is still relevant now, whereas Jose Mourinho, his ways of motivation were good about 10, 15 years ago, but they aren't relevant now, and that's why it never worked at Chelsea in the second spell. It didn't work at Man United. It didn't work with you guys. Conte gets results wherever he goes. 5th place Juve team took it to Serie A. 10th place Chelsea team took it to the Premier League. Even with you guys, like, I'm not going to say he's going to take you to the Premier League title immediately, but he's a sort of manager that can get the best out of, let's say, average players and get form out of them that nobody would expect. So I can't really judge what Conte is going to do. Like, that's why I'm really looking forward to this tie as well, because I've said in the back of my head, I think Spurs are going to be really hard in these 2 legs. And I think Conte knows that he needs to get a trophy immediately. And I think if you guys do beat us in this 2 legs, personally, I think it's you guys that are the favourites for the Carabao Cup. I could see you guys beat Liverpool or Arsenal if you faced either of them.
Mate, if we play Arsenal in a cup final, I don't know if I'll be able to handle myself in the weeks building up to it. I mean, it'll be such a nervy event. I mean, but do you think, from what you've seen from Conte and Spurs so far, do you think we can challenge for the top 4 this year?
Definitely. Like, I didn't even have you guys down for top 4 before Conte joined, but when I realised the level of points that you guys are compared to the rest of the top 4, and it's not impossible. It's nowhere near impossible, especially the form that everyone else is showing. Right now, City is the only serious team in the league. Everyone else is capable of dropping points anywhere possible in the season. So you guys are definitely in for top 4. I think you guys have a better chance than Arsenal, for being honest. Manchester United, they've got the squad for it, but do they have the manager, and has the manager implemented his style of play on the team yet? I'm not so sure, because the football hasn't really shown anything to me. Like, they've had a good game against Burnley, but other than that, they've struggled through games. So you lot can get top 4. I think Conte is the best manager out of the 3 that are going for it. It all depends on the consistency and the results, but you guys are out of Europe right now, so you have the same advantage that Arsenal do. And that's the whole reason why Arsenal's in that top 4 race, in my opinion. So I'm not going to say it's there for you to lose, but I could see you guys making top 4. You guys or Man United.
Interesting. And from you, Brian?
No, I mean, obviously, it's lovely to share a stream with Lewis. I've seen him on here before, so it's always good meeting other fans. Yeah, I'm looking for, like I said, it's my first game to Stamford Bridge, and it's going to be interesting, especially when you look at someone like Mendy, who's not going to be there, is he? He's going to be away for the Africa Cup of Nations for the first leg, or is it just the second leg?
I think if they make it to the final, which they're likely to do, it will be both legs. But for now, it's just the first leg.
Okay.
Wow. But talk to me, Lewis. I mean, when you cast your mind back to last season, Tuchel comes in, a massive upturn in form. You look unbeatable, really, at times. Win the Champions League. Start this season like a house on fire. Everyone's saying maybe Chelsea favourites for the title. But what's happened in the last couple of weeks?
It's been like a domino effect. The first thing was the Ben Chilwell injury. And I think it's all just been a slippery slope since then because... Like, you lot have known for years I don't rate Marcus Alonso. And I've wanted him gone for the longest. And somehow we're in big 2022 and this guy's still at my football club. And you can see
I don't think the DVLA rate him either.
What was that?
I don't think the DVLA rate him either.
Oh, I was waiting for one of those, but we walked into it. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, the golfing class from Chilwell to Alonso, I don't need to explain it to you. It's like literally from the top to the bottom. He's a horrific football player. And our build-up play has fallen into the mud ever since he's been in the squad. But it's not just him. I'm not going to scapegoat off just one injury. But overall, it is injuries that have screwed us. Our midfield has been torched over the last few months. Kante's basically in and out of the team on injuries. He always is able to bring his form, regardless of when he starts. Which is also a bit of the problem. Because we always end up falling back to relying on him and bringing him back on when we're not sure whether he's at 100%. Jorginho's basically playing with painkillers, injections, just to run through games because we don't really have a replacement for the sort of player that he is. Our depth, to be honest, we hyped up our depth a little bit too much. It is what it is. Winning the Champions League will do that to us. That's the only one where we're going to have to reel that one in a little bit. But everything else, I think, is just more injuries that have fallen on us. We obviously had the 10 Rona cases before the Wolves game, and they still made us play that match as well. It's been a bunch of different issues, but it's not Thomas Tuchel. It's more Lukaku coming in late as well. Like, we brought him in 2 days before the start of the season, and he didn't have any time to integrate with the squad. So, as a team, we play better without Lukaku. When we didn't have him for the Everton game, the Burnley game, or the Man United game at home, we got 25 shots in each game, but we missed a striker. So, we only scored 1 goal in each of those matches. When Lukaku comes in, there's more of a focal point, but we don't really know how to make chances for him. So, there's less chances when Lukaku's on the pitch. So, it's very frustrating. But it's just our attack, and it's just a bunch of injuries. Because without Lukaku, we're the same stormtroopers that couldn't hit an ocean with a boat. So there's plenty of problems with this Chelsea squad. But it's something that Tuchel can manage. We're not in a crisis situation or anything like that. It's just we could use the January transfer window and get some players in now. I know Luka Dean is meant to be leaving Everton. I'm literally like throw everything possible at this. Because if we can get a left wing back, we're in a much better position. We don't even have Reece James now. Reece James is out for the next 2 months. And we relied heavily on those wing backs. And now we've gone from James and Chilwell to Alonso and Azpilicueta. Respectfully to Azpilicueta, always an amazing defender, but his legs are fading. And it's been clear to see this season. Alonso's just trash, and I've said that for years, and we're still stuck with this guy as a depth option. And I wanted another left back in the summer just so we could get rid of him. But if we can get Luka Dean in and maybe Ben Chilwell's back by the end of the season, maybe we can get rid of him then. But we need to get players in the January transfer window if we have any chance of being able to do anything this season. Because right now I could see us going through in the domestic cup competitions, but in terms of the Premier League, in spite of everything, I think we're just stuck in a top 4 race. I ain't worried about top 4, not in the slightest. I think we make that one, and it will be shocked if we don't do it. But back in a top 4 race, it just feels a bit underwhelming, to be honest.
And a player I want to talk to, obviously you probably know this question's coming, Romelu Lukaku. I mean, all the stuff that's coming out with him over the last couple of weeks. Do you feel let down by him?
A bit, but I just think he's a fool with a lot of his comments, to be honest. Like on the first day, I actually tried to defend some of the stuff that he said because I didn't think it was that deep. the comments on Thomas Tuchel and the system aren't the problem for me, because I just think he was being honest with that. It hasn't worked out for him. The system doesn't suit him. Like, it's clear as day to anyone who sees it. So I've got nothing against that realism. And he says he's adapting and he's getting better. And that interview was a few weeks ago. And since he came back into the team, he's got 2 Man of the Match awards and he's got 2 goals. So I can't really say anything about him on that. He is adapting. My problem was the Inter Milan comments. Like, he said that if he had a better contract from Inter Milan, he would have stayed there. He said he's coming back to the point where he told Lautaro Martinez to stay there because he wants to return, even though he said he wanted to retire at Chelsea and that he was at home when he first joined us. He said that the only reason why he joined us was because he didn't get an offer from Barcelona, Bayern Munich, or Real Madrid, which was more like, you think you'd play for any of them? Like, maybe Barcelona, because like they're in a crisis situation, but Barcelona also are broke. So I don't see them affording the wages that you'd want. And you're not benching Benzema, then you're not benching Lewandowski. So it's like, I don't understand it. I really don't. It's a little bit of the Belgian thing as well, because Belgians love to run their mouth in press conferences. That's just night and day. We've had to deal with it with Courtois. We've had to deal with it with Hazard. I'm sure De Bruyne has had a little thing with Manchester City every now and then too. But it just comes across as stupid because he's contradicting himself. He contradicted himself to the Inter Milan fans as well. None of them want to hear it. Their owner literally said we've sold Lukaku for 115 million and we brought in Edin Dzeko, and I don't see the difference. They don't really want him back. They're still top of the league in spite of selling him. And he was the MVP last season. Yeah. So he's burnt his bridge with the Inter Milan fans. He's burnt his bridge with the Chelsea fans as well. Guy's just sitting on an island on his ones, and I don't know what he expected to come out of an interview like that.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, no, I was to say, going back to Alonso, Lewis, I know your feelings for him are like mine for Dele Alli, but one thing I will say with him is he's one of those players that just seem to perform against us. Yeah. No matter what, you know, sometimes like Drogba used to always score against the filth, like Shearer always used to score against Leeds. Alonso, for some reason, always seems to have a blinder against us, and that's what I worry about him being in the squad.
I agree with you on that, because in spite of him being a horrific football player, he can give you like 1 or 2 moments of brilliance per game. Maybe 1, but like maybe in the Tottenham game you could see something like that, because he did have a good start to the season and he did play well in the 3-0 as well. But I don't want to risk it either, because I just think it's an open hole for you guys to try to expose. And Conte's a brilliant counter-attacking manager. Yeah. The last thing I want to see is Chelsea play into his hands, because we struggle against deep blocks. If you guys defend resolutely, we're just going to be pinballing the ball around the midfield third, trying to find the way through. And as soon as you guys get the ball back, I can just see some dirty transition down Marcos Alonso's side, and he's just standing there with a deer in the headlights look. So I'll be real, I do not want Alonso starting, even though we're probably going to see Alonso starting.
So if you had your choice, who would you have instead of him starting?
This is the problem. We don't have anybody else. This is why I'm saying bring some. I don't care who it is. Like, I'll take, if you want a Chelsea shirt and pop in at left back for 90 minutes, do it. Like, anyone but Alonso, but we're stuck with this guy. Yeah. Or Luka Dean. I'll say Luka Dean, because we could potentially still bring him in, but we've got 3 days to do it. I beg someone just send an Uber down there and just get Alonso can drive himself to Everton for all I care.
What I was going to say is that there was a report coming out last night. I can't remember where I saw it from, but they're saying that Chelsea are going to have to rest a lot of players for Wednesday night in terms because of fitness and everything like that. Are you hearing anything from your end on that thing?
I didn't just hear that. I didn't hear that until now, but I could understand that as well. With the Christmas period and with all the fixtures, and we haven't really made a lot of rotations either. We got a lot of injuries too. We might have to. And if we do, boy, this is going to be a rough 90 minutes. But if we have to heavily rotate, if we don't get a result, I'll understand it a bit more. But it's going to be even more annoying because of our record at Stamford Bridge. And I really can't be asked to give you a lot of second wind there. But if we have to rotate, we're handing it to you on a silver platter.
Lewis, if you had to pick 4 players then that have to start, if you are rotating, but there's 4 players that have to start for you in this game, who are the 4?
Thiago Silva.
Is he not injured?
No, Silva was back for the Liverpool game.
Okay.
Silva, Kante, Jorginho, and I don't even know who to pick in attack, to be honest.
Surely Mount.
Yeah, Mason Mount.
Good player.
Yeah,
Great
I'll go
player.
Mason Mount. Although I think Lukaku comes back for this game. I'm not sure what sort of reception he gets because he has to start firing immediately. If he doesn't, everyone's on his neck from the start.
I mean, if he gets an early goal, I mean, the fans are just going to be on his side, aren't they?
Definitely, but he has to start doing it on a game-by-game basis. He can't have any runs of bad form this season because everyone just thinks he's a rat.
Yeah, I mean, with Mason Mount, going back to Mason Mount, I mean, he's been brilliant this season. He's really added some more caveats to his game, you know, getting more goals, getting more assists. I mean, he's been brilliant this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, the development from him has been, I'd still say expected, but obviously he started the season poorly. But we said that was already burnout. The guy had the most minutes for us in the Premier League last season, most minutes in the Euros as well. I'm not surprised that he started the season poorly, especially with his age. I was saying we were playing him way too much. But he took an extended period out at the side. He's rested, he's come back, and suddenly he's firing on all cylinders. He's adding more goals and more assists to his tally, which is what a lot of people are complaining with him about. His work rate is still there, and he's starting to get more intelligent on the pitch as well. Final ball does still need to improve, but it will come. Like, we have to remember Mason Mount is only 22 years of age, and I still think people put high expectations on his head, only because he's performing at such a level that we didn't expect. But he's doing everything that's asked for him. He's getting more goals on the table. I couldn't be happier with him.
And finally, obviously it's the game on Wednesday. How do you see it going, and what's your score prediction?
For me, I've got to go Chelsea regardless, so I'm just going to say 1-0, but it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a very tight game, and regrettably, I could see this go either way. In terms of rotation as well, I'm actually a bit less sure of that now, because I just remembered we got Chesterfield in the Cup on Saturday, and that one I expect like an entire youth team in. So I wouldn't see a lot of rotation in this game. I'd actually be a lot more surprised with it by now. But regardless of whoever we rotate with, is going to be a tough game, and just get it over and done with personally, because I'm not looking forward to these 2 legs of football, but we're here. This whole month's just carnage.
What's the score going to be?
Oh, 1-0. 1-0.
1-0 Chelsea. Wow, 1-0 Chelsea. I mean, it's nice to hear that a Chelsea fan isn't confident going into our home leg, that's for sure. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I'm hopeful that we can get a result. I mean, I would take a draw right now to take back to the Tottenham Stadium. Right now, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same.
Well, do away goals count in this cup, or is it just?
I mean, I think
was it away goals after
extra time? Yeah, I think
okay.
So. Yeah.
So I think there's going to be 1 goal in it, but I think it's going to be a bit of a humdinger. I'm going to go for a 3-2 Spurs win.
3-2 Spurs win.
3-2 Spurs win.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because, Lewis, it's my first time at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, the hoodoos that I still remember being a kid listening on Capital Gold Radio when Gary Lineker scored the winning goal in 1990. So I want to be the first time I go there to be a memorable one. So I'm going sentimental, and I'm going thinking with my head, my heart, not my head. So 3-2.
I hope it's a memorable night for you, but for the wrong reason.
Are you sitting by the away end again this time?
Nah, no chance. They won't let me in the family stand anymore, but it is what it is.
Fair enough, because I remember the last time when we beat you, you were sitting right there, and I could literally see you as we were scoring every single goal. It was a beautiful sight.
Yeah, I remember giving you stick at 1-0, and the whole second half I refused to look at the away end again until the 90th minute. And you lot was still staring at me until I turned around. As soon as I turned around, I see you just looking at me like this. Fuck off, man. I can't be arsed.
All right, Lewis, always a pleasure to speak to you, man. I know we're going to be seeing a lot more of each other this month. But thanks for coming on, and look, I'm not going to say good luck, but have a good few days. Exactly.
It is what it is. Happy New Year. I'll say that.
Happy New Year, Lewis, buddy. Happy and healthy one, buddy.
Same to you, my G.
All right, Lewis, big up yourself, and enjoy yourself. We'll see you very soon.
Take care.
See you later.
Cheers, man.